Peace and love, Chef Leel and the Buil, and I really want to dive deep into this journey of alkalinity. Truly, all of our journeys start at birth, but more specifically, my journey started when I went off to college. I was originally born in Denver, Colorado, but over time, we moved to Alabama after some moving. I ended up in college in Huntsville, where I went to Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University to study mechanical engineering. As time passed, I started to really focus on my health. Being independent in college, you really got to fend for yourself. So I stopped eating fried foods. I just was seeking some alternative to have more energy. And it was around 2015 where I started to notice that eating out is not really beneficial. I didn't really know what these people were putting in our food. I didn't know what these industries or where these industries were getting their food from. So it just sparked the curiosity in me. At this time is when I started doing research. It's actually a funny story. I came home one day, I was getting ready to cook ground beef. Probably like some hamburger helper or something, if I remember correctly. And I was looking at it. Everybody knows how ground beef looks. It has the little wiggly lines in it. You really don't know how it actually came into being that form. So this is why I went on YouTube. Most of the knowledge we have is probably from YouTube University anyway. And so I went on YouTube. I'm like, search, where does ground beef come from? Crazy stuff popped up, back and forth. I started looking up hot dogs, fish, everything. And that's when I was like, wow, meat is really a detriment to the human body, but a detriment to our society, especially being a young African American, how much of these foods that we eat. So I started to think to myself, eventually I'm gonna have to cut this out. I met somebody who was vegetarian, and that's when it sealed the deal for me. But this wasn't the closing piece to me being introduced to alkalinity. It was actually a year later in 2016 when I had like a common illness. I believe it may have been a cold. And I didn't want to take medicine. All my life I've been against medicine. So I started looking up natural remedies. And as I'm looking, I'm seeing natural remedy for AIDS, natural remedy for all of these ailments and diseases that you hear are uncurable. And I just click. And there was this one piece I saw where it says, man cures AIDS using herbs. So I'm like, nah, that can't be real. And I feel like most people actually have scrolled by that and just shunned it off. So I did the same thing. I scrolled by it, and then it clicked to me again like, wait, that might be real. Let me check it out, because, you know, grandma used ginger to cure sore throat or stomach ache, so, you know, it could never hurt to look. And I look, and I find Dr. Sebi. And this is when my mind just exploded, opened up like a Pandora's box. And I started seeing information here, from different websites, from different YouTube videos. And this is when I started to dive into his interviews. Hour after hour, it was like that anticipation you have when you're ready to play a video game and while you're at school and you can't wait to get home. That's how I felt when I started learning about all these different methodologies and the nutritional guide that Dr. Sebi provided for us. And so after that, I said, okay, this is the lifestyle that I'm interested in. And I found beauty in it, because what it helped me recognize is like, now you have to become completely independent, not just in your diet, but also your lifestyle. This comes to the hair products, the things you put on your skin, your hygiene, the people that you surround yourself with, all became inspired by Dr. Sebi. So from that point on, I started to replace my refrigerator. Everything that I had in there, I was like, all right, you know, I'm kind of broke, so I'm going to use it first. You know what I'm saying? Get it out the way first, and then after I expunge everything, I'm going to start fresh. So I really went through the guide. I went to the store and I tried to buy everything on the guide. That gave me the opportunity to have the most variety possible to create those things that I would like to create. Ultimately, this is how Chef Leel was born. Really, this puts you in a situation where you fend for yourself. You become more curious and inquisitive too. And also, you become a scientist. The kitchen becomes your lab. And so, in that space, I became inspired, I became motivated, I became excited. It was always a spontaneous type of feel. And over time, it just increased. And I feel more enthusiastic about it each and every day. So alkalinity is not just something I do for practice. It's not something I do for show, but it's something that I actually live and I embody. And you can definitely feel and tell the difference. People see me all the time and they say, wow, your skin looks different. Or after months of not seeing me, wow, you're glowing. Additionally, people also notice that who I am as a person is starting to develop. The way that I think, the type of conversations that I'm having. This all changes because it changes your lens. Like when you cleanse, you change your lens. When you change your plate, you change your weight, you change your fate. All of that, it's a cyclical type of Bible that you're starting to dive into in the real world. So I inspire, or I implore everybody to at least engage in Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide. All of the information is very important, but it's more so important for you to go seek out the information. We learn more by engaging and less by somebody telling us, especially in this age of technology. We have all of the access we need. So, Dr. Sebi, much respect to you. Also respect to the brother. So much information is in this book as well, including some of the keys that you don't get when you first introduce into this lifestyle. So, the Chef Leel in the Buil. I'm welcoming you to the Electric Kitchen, and this is my introduction to alkalinity.